Books. There is a book about everything. There's a book about healing, book about productivity, book about leadership, books about being a man, books about mindfulness, books about sleeping. There are books about literally everything. There is so much knowledge in this world to just gather. There is so much information out there. It is so readily available, especially for us in the first world countries. These books have been mass produced by millions and millions and millions and millions of times, and they're just there at the bookstore waiting for us to come pick it up for like $20. It's actually insane about how easy it is to access this information. Look how many pages there are. This is like thousands of pages of just pure information that can help us in our lives. There's so much stuff out there to help us better our lives. And it's not just the books. There's also tons and tons of videos and courses and just things that are free, available, even paid as well, on YouTube, on the internet. It is so much easier to learn things now than it's ever been. And yet nobody's doing it. Well, obviously there are people doing it like you're doing it now, watching this video, but a lot less people do it. It's a lot less of a common practice to, pick up a helpful book that is going to help you at some aspect of your life and read it. A lot of people are immersed into storytelling, and that's not, a bad thing. Storytelling is really good. I myself love stories and stuff. I have The Lord of the Rings here. I've read it a few times. Well, I've read it once and a half. And it's incredible. I love stories as well, and a lot of people do too. But what about the books that actually teach you things? What about the books that are actually going to help you in life? So I'm just here making this video, basically reminding you that there are so many things that you can do to help yourself, help your future self. And it may suck to do it in the now, but it really, these books seriously help you. And if I'm honest, some of these books are actually pretty interesting to read. Like some of these books, here's one, an interesting one. The Mountain Is You. This is a book about healing trauma, PTSD, and self-sabotage into self-mastery. Doesn't really, it sounds sort of interesting, but it's it probably will be a boring read. And I flew through this book because it's actually one of the most interesting things that I've read. So even if it's not like a story where you're following the character and you're following their adventure into whatever the hell is happening, they're still interesting to read. You can still find enjoyments in books that actually help you with your life. They're genuinely entertaining to read. It's not like a school textbook. And ironically, I think that this is where the problem comes from. School. Because back when we were all at school, we would have to read these boring ass books. Like, they would make us read the most boring thing, and they'd be like, you have to read this whole book in 2 weeks, and you need to highlight and take notes so that you can answer the questions when it comes down to your test. And I'm like, bro, come on, I don't want to do that. And the teacher's like, no, you have to do the work. And then you turn around, and then there's that nerdy kid who's already like, come on, man, reading is really fun. And you're like, bro, shut up, it's boring as fuck, alright? No one wants to do it. So school has sort of poisoned our idea of reading. And, it's boring. It's a boring thing to just think about. It's like books, come on, man, that's boring as. I'd much rather go and play Call of Duty instead. And honestly, fair enough. It's instant gratification. It feels good in the now. But the thing is, with reading books that actually help yourself in the future, they don't feel as good when you first do it, because it's this interesting thing where we're not used to something. It's out of the ordinary. See, we're so used to playing these video games every single day that suddenly when we stop doing that and replace it with something that takes a long time to feel the rewards, such as reading, you just think, your brain subconsciously thinks, okay, what the hell is going on? This is weird. I don't like it. I want to go back to what I was doing before. So it's going to feel weird at first. You're going to not enjoy reading. It's going to be hard to just pick up the book, open it to page 1, and start reading. It's going to be hard to do that at first. But eventually, as you keep making this and building it into a habit, it's going to become easier, and you're going to find a lot more enjoyment in it, especially when you take a step back from the instant gratification and start meditating and, journaling and reading. You'll find a lot more enjoyment in it, and then you'll realize 5 years down the track, after you've read like a ton of books about like skills and things that can help you, and you've taken the steps and just applied them for fun because you're reading a book about leadership, and you're like, you know what, this is an interesting point, man. I'm gonna just try it on my friend here and see what happens. And then suddenly your entire friend group respects you as a great person, and you're just like, whoa, that was pretty good. And then like 5 years down the track, suddenly you've realized, oh wow, I read a bunch of money books when I was like 22 years old, and then all of a sudden I'm like 25 and I just have a butt ton of cash, and it's like, oh, that's awesome. So it's like 3 years down the track, suddenly you'll realize all of the things that have happened, it will just click to you, and you'll be like, whoa, that's incredible. But then what if you just decided to play Call of Duty all day? And that I never played that video game, but I played other ones. But and then you suddenly like level like 2000 in whatever thing it is. That's really not going to do too much for you. So get into reading, because when you read a book, it can be a book about absolutely anything. Just grab a topic that you're interested in, and if reading educational book is too much for you, then start with a story. Start with some sort of, I don't even know, fiction, non-fiction, whatever fake is. Start with that and just get yourself into the habit of reading, and then branch off to more educational books and things that will actually help you in the future. Reading is one of the best habits that you can build for yourself, and it's easier to grab a book and read it now than it has ever been in your entire life. It is easier to learn now than it has ever been. If you don't want to read, then go onto YouTube and watch a 2-hour-long full guide. If you can't do that, then go and watch a course or something. Just find ways to constantly learn new things, because as soon as we stop learning once we finish school, the world keeps moving forward, but our brain, the stuff we know and the skills we have, just stay at what school has given us. And to be honest, the skills that school have given us isn't really that good. Like, school hasn't taught us how to be a great leader of people. School hasn't taught us how to be productive or how to stop doing bad habits. School hasn't taught us how to be a good person. It hasn't taught us how to get respect from people, how to think deeper, how to think clearly, how to use willpower. It hasn't taught us how to build multi-million-dollar businesses. It hasn't taught us how to optimize our sleep. So we have to go learn these things our own way. We have to find it through our own way and learn these things so that we can live a good life. Because who doesn't want to live a good life? Everyone wants to live a good, happy life. And through learning new things, you can achieve that. Thank you for watching this video. Please subscribe to the channel to see more videos like this one, especially if you're new here. And I'll see you in the next one. Take care. Goodbye.